Hello, and welcome to a very special Sons of Screens. For tonight, we're going to rob some banks and drink some red drinks. See, I'm not good at improvise. Right?
Producer week.
Yeah, that's why it's a special episode. It's producer week. She picked these two movies, which are Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Dog Day Afternoon. First time watches for me. What about you?
It was the first time I'd seen either one, so they were not what I was expecting, but they were still fun.
Yeah, they had some zingers.
They did.
they had some zingers.
They
Was not
did.
expecting some stuff.
So the other special part about the producer week is she also got to choose our random drink, which
Mhm.
as a wine drinker she chose 19 Crimes. So here's Andrew and I having a bottle of wine. Well, we're having some wine, unconfirmed on whether it's a full bottle or not.
We'll see. Don't
So I saw
underestimate
that
my power.
I did see that you had a fun cup that you will be drinking out of.
Yeah, I got Leatherface.
Oh man! Well, I've got a fun cup as well. I will be drinking out of Yoda's face.
I see what you did there.
All right, and I also got to reuse my wine stopper that I got from Nerd Block probably 8 years ago.
Nice. See, I got my Leatherface, and then I also have a Jason one and a Freddy one. This Freddy one has been with me through a lot of hard times. I've had it for 20 plus years.
Oh
And it
my!
has survived everything that I have brought it
Hmm.
through.
So initial thought on the smell.
Oh, we doing the
Smells like
full wine thing?
wine. Smells like wine.
We're not gonna like gargle it or anything, are we?
It is very
Oh
red.
no! Just so the viewers know, if you see me kind of like picking at my mouth and stuff, because I didn't have a corkscrew, and so I
But you
kind
made
of
it work.
ghetto opened it. I took a screw and I screwed it into the cork, and I took a claw hammer and tried to wiggle it out, and it was starting to work. And then the cork just kind of said "fuck off," and half of it broke off, and the other half is inside here. Oh, I can see it. I can see Snoop's face. What up, Snoop?
For those wondering what the cork looked like, I did
Yeah,
not lose mine because my wife is a wine drinker. So
yeah, that's what I'm staring at in my bottle. He's looking at me, fucking judging me.
he's like, Andrew, you had one job.
That's funny. Oh, and I can see the floaties. I got some cork in here. That's funny. So I got wine with pulp this week.
I just mouth washed mine
Why would you do that?
because you're supposed to shake it around in your mouth.
We're not at a fucking vineyard or whatever they call those.
I'm telling you, the little bit that I know about wine is really nothing. So I'm it's not awful.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
This reminds me of the reminds me of Lord of the or not Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when they're eating the monkey brains. Because I'm sitting here looking in the top of a head. It's all red.
Why am I switched over to the big and you're little?
I didn't do that.
Maybe the producer's producing.
Get them floaties out of there.
Oh yeah, they're in there. That's the cool thing though. They do float, so I do see it when I pour me a glass.
So we did have a little bit of a hiatus. We got a few. The episodes are going to be coming out fast and hot again. But we the producer and I had a wedding ceremony reception last week. So
I was there.
you were there.
I was part of it.
Apparently, me doing a keg stand did get recorded.
A little bit. I got a little bit of it.
Lisa had the whole thing.
And then then the guy I was standing next to up there during the ceremony decided to fart.
That was.
But he whispered it to me before he did. He's like, I got fart. And then right when you guys went quiet, I hear. Brr. I was just like, oh my god. I had to bite down on my lips so fucking hard from not laughing out loud. I was like, oh, don't be that guy. Till I started laughing out loud in the middle of it.
I would have just laughed.
I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I appreciate it. It was a very, very serious ceremony, so I'm glad that you kept it together.
Yeah, because we're wearing the football jerseys underneath our coats. And our blue jeans. It was a great time. I had a fantastic time that night.
It was fun.
Oh, buddy.
And now we won't have to buy Trulies for probably another year.
Yeah. First time I ever tried Trulies, and it was through a shotgun. Son of a bitch. That was an experience.
A little story behind the choice of the 19 crimes. My wife and one of her friends, whenever they first came out with it, Snoop Dogg had nothing to do with it, but they had crimes printed on the cork, and if you collected all 19 crimes, you could either enter to win a sweepstakes, or you could win a sweepstakes to where they would send you to Alcatraz, all expenses paid. So that was her big thing with the 19 crimes.
Did you chill yours?
I had it in the refrigerator and was told I was not allowed to, so I took it back out of the fridge.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't know if you took it out or not.
I did. So it is room temperature. So, do you have any fun new watches this week outside of the two that we're going to talk about in a little bit?
I did. Just a couple hours ago, I went to watch Clown in a Cornfield at the movie theater.
So you went to a cornfield?
No. I'm definitely not going to a cornfield after watching this movie. There's clowns in there. The clown is named Friendo.
Friendo the clown.
Yeah. And it had Kevin Durant in it. And it was really good. Like, it reminded me of 80s slasher, but in a modern era, to where it made me feel really old, because now when they're flashing back to an old time for what's happened so many years ago, it was in the fucking 90s. I was like, son of a bitch.
Okay.
And then there's a line where they're in this new town, and this girl asks something along the lines of, why are all the old people stuck in the 90s? I'm like, bitch, we are not old, for one.
Well, we're 80s anyway.
And this movie really is kind of a different battle of different generations, I would say. Not really a battle, but like there's often jokes about it, stuff like that. Like there's a scene where they're running away from, Friendo, and they go to a house that has a landline, and when they try to use the landline, it's a rotary phone. And they don't know how to fucking use it.
They don't know how to use a rotary phone?
No. And at first, I was like, man, that's a little over the top. I'm like, no, that's not over the top. Yeah, I was like, that's probably right.
There's a lot of people these days that don't even know how to use a landline.
Right. Oh, no, yeah, because it was ringing. She tried to answer it, and it was just a dial tone. And she's like, I think it's dead. And then she hangs up, and then they're sitting there plucking at the rotary part. And I'm just like, wow. And I was like, that's a little bit far-fetched there, director. But I was like, no, that actually isn't far-fetched. That's just how this generation is, man.
Yep.
Like now, if you ask like somebody from this new generation to like mimic answering a phone, they do this, just
right
palm, not a fucking hello.
Anybody in there, McFly?
Mm-hmm. I used to love doing rotary phones. I'd always get excited when the longer it had to rotate. Mm-hmm. I liked it. It entertained the hell out of me. So I liked it when there was a 9 in their number. I'm like, sweet.
Can I hear a 9er in there?
Mm-hmm.
And when there was 2 9s, oh man.
Oh yeah, it was a blast. Like I didn't even want to talk anymore. I was happy. I'm good. So one's pretty good.
So this week we started watching Andor, season 2.
Ooh. I've only seen season 1.
Well, season 2 is still in the process of releasing. I think there's 9 episodes out right now. by the time this episode comes out, all 12 should be released.
They did 12 episodes this time around.
Mm-hmm. But from what I've heard, it's supposed to lead right up to the beginning of Rogue One, which means that now episode 4 is going to be like a 25-hour movie, 26-hour movie.
Oh boy. I know I'll attempt it at least once.
I'm going to have to. I mean, if it really does lead right up to the beginning of Rogue One.
Just like Rogue One leads right up to the beginning of New Hope.
Right. I'm curious if they're going to bring Felicity Jones into this.
Oh.
But I don't know, because she didn't really have any interaction with Andor until Rogue One.
All right. Is that all you've started this week?
Mm-hmm.
Some Andor and then these 2 movies.
Yeah, we finished Very Scary People, all the episodes that are available for that. So we finished that and decided to go ahead and start on Andor. And then once we finish Andor, we will move on to Jack Reacher. Season 3.
Making Abby watch TV shows is what you're doing, huh?
I'm letting her watch the ones she enjoys, and then when she goes to sleep, I watch the ones that I want to watch. Day the Jackal, I'm still in the middle of, but I only watch it after she goes to bed. So it is.
We're movie people.
Slow going. I am too, but Day of the Jackal's really good. It's got Eddie Redmayne. Did I say that right?
Probably, maybe not. I don't know. That sounds familiar.
The guy that plays Newt on Fantastic Beasts.
Oh yeah, Eddie Redmayne. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. He was Stephen Hawking in that Stephen Hawking movie.
It's interesting to see Newt as an assassin.
Yeah.
Well, have you had enough of your wine to rate it? Because, I mean, usually we finish the drinks and then move on, but did you just chug it?
I finished it.
Oh my! I'm not going to chug it. I was just going to say these are going to take a little longer to finish than normal, so I was going to say we could go ahead and rate and move on.
Oh yeah, we can still rate.
You made the producer mad. You don't chug wine, apparently.
I was finishing. I forgot how deep this cup is. I was like, where does it end?
Reminds me when one night we were at darts, and she still had like half a glass of wine and we were getting ready to leave. She's like, "No, it's fine. I'll leave it." And I was like, "Nope, I'll get it." And I chugged like half a glass of wine. She's like, "You don't chug wine."
My bad. Obviously, I'm pouring a little more, so obviously I don't hate it. I think it will be better once it's chilled. I think this would taste better with some coldness to it.
Agreed.
But
I do enjoy. I don't dislike the flavor. I do prefer red wine over white wine.
Me too. That's what I'm most experienced with is red wine. I think it needs to be a little heavier on the flavor, in my opinion.
See, I'm probably more experienced with white wines because that's what my wife prefers. So if I try wine, it's usually a white wine.
I don't know. It almost feels watered down a little bit. But what do I know? All my wines always had either twist tops or came out of boxes. It's interesting we're rating our first wine here. Don't know really what to go off of.
Yeah, I mean,
compared to my past red wines, I think I'm with you. I think I'm at 3 as well.
I mean, it doesn't blow me out of the water. It doesn't make me want to wash it down with something.
It keeps making me want eyeballing.
Well, that's just wine. In general.
Yeah. After a few more glasses, I'll be like, hey. I don't remember what my wine drunk is like. Maybe I love everybody. Maybe I hate everybody. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I would say I'd put a cork in it, but the cork is in there.
So would you
wine
like?
bottles don't last long.
No, they don't.
I'm already halfway.
Not to beer drinkers,
right?
Because we tend to drink the wine like beer, and then next thing you know, the bottle's gone, and yeah.
I know that's always been my problem. So when the red wine that I buy actually comes in giant fucking like moonshine style jugs.
Mm-hmm.
I always get like 2 of those, and I finish them in like one night. I might be an alcoholic, or at least a booze hound.
At least
I can't just have a glass of wine with my dinner. Go have 2 bottles or 2 jugs with my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is 13%, by the way.
13.5%.
13.5. So yeah.
So still less than some of the beers that we've had.
Mm-hmm. That's the full bottle, though, isn't it? Yeah. How many ounces are these? Oh, 750 milliliters. What's that translate in ounces?
A fifth.
That doesn't answer my question.
It's a fifth.
How many ounces is that?
I don't know. 750 milliliters. Probably.
I'm an ounce guy.
I'm going to say probably 30 ounces.
Almost a big gulp.
Let's.
Uh-oh. And we're back. Recording resumed.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my router sucks, so we'll be fixing that before next week.
Which is fine, because I needed a pee anyway.
I needed a cue.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that one. Before we jump into the movies here, I got my slate that I forgot to do for the Chuckster. But so this is scene 16. Here, I'll go ahead and listen. This was a very last minute thing because I almost forgot to do this again. But I got scene 16, and then I had to take 2 barrels. I don't know. Log tied 2 smoking barrels. Yeah,
it takes 2.
I got roll out because everybody's robbing some people. Roll out. Mm-hmm. We got the date, which is August 22nd, 1972. That's when that robbery happened on Dog Day afternoon. Because apparently that is a true story. We have a lot of true story reviews going on here on this show lately.
We do.
Yeah. The sound, I just said British. Because that was some thick ass British accents during Lockstock. Production company, I said Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Instead of Pacino. Because Al Pacino.
Ah, okay, I gotcha.
Pachinko. Director is Guy Pori instead of Guy Ritchie.
All right.
So stupid. And then I said cameraman is Cyndi Lauper, and I don't know why. That was just the first name that popped in my head. Because girls just want to have fun.
That's right.
And we're just a couple of girls just trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little gay, but that's okay with the theme that we'll learn later in one of these movies. But first, we're going to do some lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Apparently, we're at an airport. You got this, and this, and then this, and then we're here.
Okay.
And we're not queer. Get used to it.
Oh my goodness! All right, so this is my first watch on this movie. It's one I remember when it came out. I wanted to see it. I'm sure I saw the preview for it, but I remember nothing about it. It was a fun watch though.
See, I'm familiar with Guy Ritchie. Mm-hmm. And I'm familiar with this title, but apparently I've never watched this one before. This was the first time watch for me too.
I do like those movies that, I mean, for lack of a better term, we'll call it an anthology, where you've got all these different storylines that come together at the end, kind of like Trick or Treat.
That's what I was going to start out with. Good old Guy Ritchie has a history of making me go, "What the fuck is going on?"
Well, this one did that.
The way he like does his movies, and some of them are pretty clear cut and dry, but a couple of his movies, including this one, like it's going, and then it just straight up goes to another scene with another like plot, and I'm like, wait, so what are they doing, and what, huh? Okay, gotcha. No, I don't. Continue. But right off the bat, though, one of the first person we see, my guy Jason Statham. Did not know he was in this movie.
Yep.
Love me.
Oh, you didn't even know he was in the movie?
No.
This is not his typical type of movie.
No, that's what I was saying. It was a nice change from the Statham that we're used to, where he's a working man in a lot of his movies. He has so many. I love his filmography because a lot of them are just like job titles. Yeah. No. Yeah, he's what was he? He's a transporter, and then he's a mechanic. And he's a beekeeper.
The snitch.
And he's a working man. You know what I mean? And he's a working man. Which I just watched Working Man.
What's the one where he's got to have the adrenaline to stay alive?
Crash.
There's like 3 of them.
Or no,
Crank.
Yeah, there we go. Crank and Crank 2 High Voltage.
High Voltage.
Yeah, those were fun movies.
Those
movies are literally the definition of nonstop fucking full adrenaline the whole time.
Right. Well, and you get to see Amy Smart's tits too, so that's always fun.
Yeah, she shows those sometimes.
She shows them all in
movies. Yeah.
She even showed them in the second one.
We got right. Well, in the second one we got Chester Bennington in High Voltage.
Yeah.
But
we're not talking about
because that's the one that does friction. I know. I just want to get R.I.P. Chester. You know,
yeah,
because he was also in Saw 7 or 6 or 7.
One of them.
Anyways, yeah. But I love me some Jason Statham. You know what I mean? He's fucking.
So this movie kind of gave me some feeling of Rounders with Matt Damon and what's the guy's name?
It's been a New York minute since I've watched that one, but
Edward Norton.
Oh, good old Eddie Norton. I just made up that fucking nickname. But I like Edward Norton. Apparently, he's one of those troublesome actors throughout the years where he's difficult to work with. That's why he kind of randomly disappears and comes back.
Yeah.
From what I hear, you know.
It happens. So what was your in this movie? Did you have a part that kind of locked you into it or kind of locked you out of it?
What locked me into it is it's a fucking straight up British movie. I love British movies because I love the way they talk. And sometimes it's so thick that you really can't even understand what the fuck. They even had to have subtitles during that one scene because they're using so much. Fucking...
They're using British slang, and they knew Americans didn't know what the British slang.
Right. We're already having hard enough time with the rest of them, but I do love British films because, like, I love Green Street Hooligans. I love. I'm drawing a blank, but I like Better Man. That's a There's a few other handful ones that I absolutely love British films because I think they amuse me, those chaps. So just listen to their dialect the whole time is entertaining enough to where it draws me in, and I'm really zeroed in because I'm like, what is he trying to say? I know he's speaking English, but he's speaking English. So that's the way it entertained me. What started like drawing me in, though, I was like, okay, who's the robbers? Who's getting robbed? Well, all of a sudden we're in a poker game, and I have no idea what kind of poker they're playing. Like, what were the fuck were they even playing?
Yeah. I don't know. British I heard him talking about it, and I was like, never heard of that poker.
It wasn't Hold'em. That's for sure.
It was not Hold'em. But yes, I even turned to Abby in the middle of this movie. I was like, well, this is definitely a British movie. Like it had
Oh yeah, this movie's about
British
as
humor.
British as it gets. Oh, and then I got more excited than Jason Statham, Vinny Jones. I love Vinny Jones.
Vinny Jones.
You never see him anymore, but he's always a fucking British bass. He's always bashing his fucking head into people. And I'm pretty sure he headbutted a person or two in this movie, did he? Or did I think he headbutted the dude while he was slamming the car door in his head. He all of a sudden fucking started headbanging into the dude while he don't fucking threaten my son, you cheeky wank. Oh, whatever the fuck he's saying.
So my favorite scene in the movie was when he brought the duffel bag back. He was like, I brought your bag back. I kept some for me and my son. If you don't agree with how much I kept, come find me. But you better be waving a white flag.
I think my favorite scene was when they're in the little caged area and they're getting shot with fucking air guns or air pellets or whatever. Yeah. I thought that whole scene was great.
When they shot the fucking dude's leg or foot off and
He's like, I fucking want you. There's his feet. Like this movie was all over the place. It was very hard to follow along, but yet I was still so entertained the whole time. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a good time.
It did not lose my attention once.
It did me. I actually had to stop and rewind a minute. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? Rewind. Okay.
Yeah, it kept my attention pretty much start to finish.
It kept my attention, but that doesn't mean I was following along with what the fuck was going on.
There's a difference between keeping your attention and following along.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I did think it was really funny that I thought it was really funny that they were like the weed that they were trying to sell was that guy's weed. They were trying to sell it back to, like they didn't know, they were just having their buddy try to sell it, and he was trying to sell it to the guy whose it was that they just stole it from.
Right. I felt sorry for that like traffic cop or whatever. He was just fucking doing his job. And all of a sudden, he's thrown in the back of the fucking van. And I just didn't know like which group, because there's so many groups in this fucking movie. Right. I'm like, I don't know which one I support the most. I'm like, well, Statham's my guy, but I also like Vinny. And I'm like,
well, and, okay, so let's be honest. If the guy that you're playing a hand against offers you a loan to pay for your hand, you never take the loan from the guy you're playing against.
No. It's like turn on a movie. Loans never work out great with those kind of people. Because then they'll get you and you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Well, right, see, I tried to do British fishes.
British fish.
No fishes.
Fishes. But how do you take a loan from the guy that you're in the hand with? If he's offering you a loan to try and match him, he's got your ass beat.
So now you're just in double trouble. Hence why they had to fucking rob. Same guy. And then we had these people over here coming in hot. And I'm just like, damn. All right, Guy Ritchie. I see you. I can see why this movie does have a name, and it's a very familiar name, and people it's a good movie. I can see how people really, really dug this movie.
Right. It was a very fun movie. It had a lot of big names, really. I mean, when you get
right before their time, you know what I mean?
Well, right, but like if they wouldn't have had Statham and they wouldn't have had Vinny,
I still would have.
There was at least one other big name in it that I can't think of right now. But like if they had not had the bigger names, it wouldn't have the same following. I don't think. Which, again, at the time they weren't big names, so they didn't know they were doing it.
But there's still a following for this movie because of who sprung out of it.
Right. I think personally.
I can see that. Well, I also just like the name, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. I'm guessing they're going off of Lock, Shock, and Barrel, that old phrase,
Well, I mean, the two guns,
because it's got everything. That's what Lock, Shock, and Barrel means. There's everything in it.
I did think it was funny that they finally found out how much those guns were worth, and then they just told the guy to go get rid of them.
That was one part where I was like, why are these antique guns so fucking important?
Yeah, I don't know if they really are important, but like in the movie they were.
They made that a plot point in the movie. Those were important ass guns. I'm like, why?
Because they're the 2 smoking barrels.
The namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, that's another reason I can't rewind. I'm like, why are we so invested in these 2 fucking antique guns that barely fucking work? It was something. Like, I went and just read the overview or the synopsis, and even that was confusing to me. Like, and then this guy over here, and I'm like, so what's the plot? I mean, there's definitely a plot in there. It's just, this one you have to watch a few times for sure.
Yeah. So the best thing I can bring it to is the 2 guns are like the rug in Big Lebowski. Really tied the room together.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you like how this movie concluded? Did you think it was a nice ending?
So I wasn't sure whenever they started bringing all the stories together, I was like, all right. And then you get all these shootouts, and I was just sitting there, I was like, okay, so what else is going to be brought in here? And so finally, at the end of it, I want to know if they kept if he was able to, if he dumped the guns or if he kept the guns is what I really wanted to know. But I don't think that we'll.
There was always talks of either a sequel or a spin-off to this movie, but they just never came to fruition.
Mm.
And Guy Ritchie became, Guy Ritchie and started doing all these other, big films that he's done over the years.
Right.
I'm trying to remember his filmography. What else did Guy Ritchie do? I'm fucking drawing a blank here. Snoop Dogg Wine's making my brain go blank. I mean, that's my excuse this week for my brain going blank.
Normally I'd pull it up on my computer, but I'm not doing that this week.
Oh, that's right. I did The Gentleman. This latest one is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. What? Warfare. That's a good one. It's got Alan Richardson or whatever from Reacher that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And it's got Henry Cavill or Cavill or however the fuck you say his name. It's fucking Superman. Fuck him. I love him.
Oh, he did Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes was a fun movie.
Oh, he did the Aladdin live action.
Oh, well, he's lost it for me.
See, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., that was another one. I was like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
With Army Hammer, the guy that, got blacklisted from Hollywood because he was talking about cannibalism and wanting to drink a chick's blood and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I didn't realize that's
that's why he disappeared. That's Superman. Yeah, and he did the Sherlock Holmes movies. Yeah, Snatch is another good straight British movie. That's a good one. Overall, I like Guy Ritchie. This one, he kind of meets in the middle with me on the films that I've seen of his.
Yeah,
it's kind of in the middle. So I was expecting to love this movie, but it didn't end up being the case.
Are there any places that you think they could have done better?
I mean, I was just sitting there fucking praising Guy Ritchie, but I think he could have just directed it a little differently.
Yeah.
Maybe add in some fill in to it so we can process what the fuck is going on. Not just bang, 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 bang. Here comes the next play. Here comes the next play. No, let's add some fill in, like Quentin Tarantino, where you have pointless conversations, or Kevin Smith, where you have pointless conversations.
I don't remember how long this movie was. I want to say it was close to
it's right around the 2 hour mark.
Right around the 2 hour mark. I feel like that for this movie to I feel like he made a 4 hour movie that he cut down. Like what his intent was for the end goal to be a 4 hour movie, and he had to cut it down to
maybe he did have those fill-ins like I was just talking about, but then he was like, wait a minute, this movie's way too fucking long. Gotta cut off the meat. So now we're just gonna go straight bang, 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 bang on everything here.
Or maybe he was planning on it being 2 movies. You got Lock, Stock for the first movie and 2 Smoking Barrels for the second. And then he had to make it into 1 movie because he lost. Yeah, I'm just rambling now.
You know how those Brits are. You just never know. Goddamn dirty Brits. I love the British accent. I want to find me a chick with a British accent. and I want her to yell at me. Oh, I already put my wine to the side. I'm almost done with it.
Well, I'm trying to decide if I should finish this off because my wife doesn't drink red wine.
Mine's close to the bottom, but I was like, yeah. I'm basically preventing myself from a red wine headache in the morning.
I'm probably 2/3 through. We'll do one more glass.
Pour it like a gangster.
Of course, one more glass bottle.
That's why you do that. It's hard for us to really talk about this movie because both of us, we know what the base plot was, and it was kind of hard to follow along. But it was also just entertaining to watch. Like it was a car crash movie, is what I call it. Right?
Like what's coming next?
Yeah, and you know it's a big old mess, but you can't fucking look away. At least in my opinion, it was just like a big old convoluted fucking mess there.
There was just so much going on that it's like you can't look away.
And I did not know that Jason Statham could do a standing backflip, and I don't know why that surprised me, but it did. Because he's Jason Statham, he can do anything. Because he's a fucking beekeeper.
Jason Statham is the new Chuck Norris.
Yeah, there needs to be Jason Statham jokes out there. We're doing it. We're starting now. Chuck Norris, you're on your deathbed, sir. You're about to die anytime soon.
Jason Statham doesn't do push-ups. He does earth downs.
Who would win in a fight between Jason Statham and God? Trick question. Jason Statham is God. Anywho, what is your final review on Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
So my review on it, like I said, it's a fun watch. Anybody that hasn't seen it absolutely needs to at least watch it once because it is very entertaining to watch, and it does start off kind of everywhere, but it brings it all together at the end. So like overall, I enjoyed the movie. It's one like I said, it's one I wanted to watch a few times, but it was so far down my list. I don't know when I would have gotten to watch it had the producer not selected it as a choice this week. So I'm glad I got to watch it. I don't know when I'll revisit it, but I'm glad that I watched it. This movie for me gets a 6.
It's 6, huh? Okay. So I'm with you there. Like, if you haven't seen this before and you enjoy the first watch, then go watch it again and catch more shit that you definitely fucking missed. Because I guarantee you probably missed some shit. And that's kind of my intention too. And this has always been a movie that's always been on my list. Like I said, I'm very familiar with the name. It's always been something that's just been on my radar, but there's so many movies in this world, I start watching other ones instead of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. You know? Like Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter and stuff like that. You know? But,
yeah, I've seen that one twice
now. I was very entertained. The British dialect automatically gets a couple points in the fucking review just because it tickles me. I fucking love accent. It's better when they have to stop at every syllable.
Oh my.
I love the cast. I love the two dudes. I love when the shotgun blast fucking gave the dude a haircut.
That was funny.
And he had the haircut the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I just brought up Sting was in this movie. I thought that was him, but I had to double check and make sure that was Sting. And sure enough, it was Sting from The Police.
It certainly was.
Certainly.
Not
the wrestler Sting, but it was Sting, the British Sting, that sang a lot of songs. Not just fought. But I'm actually matching you with this, sir. I am also a 6 on this one.
Pair of 6s. We have an opportunity to be completely the same. The wine's the same. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is the same. Which leads us into Dog Day Afternoon. Who let the dog out?
Right off the bat, I was like, why is this called Dog Day Afternoon? And then I never heard of the phrase, it's a dog day summer or whatever.
The
describing how hot it is.
Yeah.
Dog Days of Summer. Yeah, that shit. I had to look that up. I was like, I don't know why it's called Dog Day Afternoon.
So honestly, like this movie, it's about apparently it's about a real story. I mean, I know that sometimes they put that at the beginning and then end of a movie, but they could just add that and you never know. But I'm not sure how they got Al Pacino in this movie because like I tried to watch this movie like it was in the 70s and it just came out. That's how I was trying to have my mindset when I watched the movie.
1975. This year is the 50th anniversary for it.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, 75 was 50 years ago.
Too soon, man.
Too soon.
But like,
before we get any further, I want
break
to
time.
real quick.
We'll be right.
I do have say on this one because I did follow along with this one a lot easier than I did.
Right. All right.
I don't know why I did that. That's action. So we're back with the Dog Day Afternoon. I don't know where we left, but we did have a pinky up. He is a classy broad with his wine. Proud of my classy redneck. He is a classy redneck. That is a weird hybrid I don't think the world needs. we don't need that. Pinky up, classy redneck. Yeah. It's like an oxymoron a little bit. Anyways. But no, with Dog Day Afternoon, I think you left off talking about this being based on a true story. Which is kind of our theme during our whole entire run of Sons of Screens. We've done a lot of based on true story movies.
Well, right. Like the just 2 episodes ago was Remember the Titans Glory Road. And then the episode before that was Weird and Better Man, which I don't know if we can call Weird a based on. I mean, technically, it was based on a true story.
We also did Iron Claw, and wasn't Gangster Squad is based off of real people.
Gangster Squad was based on on real events,
and I like to believe that Child's Play was based on a true story too.
I mean,
which it might be soon with all the AI shit, the remake.
Right. Yeah, I was just kind of looking back through. I think those are the, like, considering we've done 16 or 17 episodes, and we've got, what, 7 based on true stories? 7 movies.
But what's making me feel, the reason I bring that up is what's making me feel like that they try to stay as true to this movie to be based on true story, which we're kind of experts on based on true story movies now, because we learned that no matter how true the movie is, they're always going to glorify it a little bit to make it an interesting movie. No matter how good because no matter how good the actual story is, if we did a straight up like shot for shot reenactment of it, it's probably not gonna be good. Right. You got to heighten it up for movie sake.
Attica.
Right. Yeah. But what told me this is like this movie just straight up it had a nice catchy 70s tune, and then we're robbing the bank. There was no backstory with these guys that are coming in.
Right, like they just pulled up and
started robbing the place, and we even had a third guy that we saw for like 2 minutes. He's like, "No, I'm out. Right. Fuck it, I'm out." And we never seen or heard from him again. Yeah,
until he comes back in and is like, "Hey, there's a girl under the desk over there."
Yep, and then he's gone. I don't even know whatever fucking happened to him.
I knew nothing about the movie going into it, and whenever Al Pacino gets out of the car with the big long crisp like birthday gift that looks like it's in a gun box, I was like, "Oh, I bet there's a gun in there." And I was like, "Why do you think that?" Oh,
made me think of
I don't know.
And Al Pacino, yeah, it made me think of Terminator 2 because he's carrying a big old flower box like that, and he has a big old shotgun in it. Of course, I went to Terminator 2. But no, and then my second thought while watching this, I'm like, okay, that is Al Pacino at 75. At 75, Al Pacino. It just reminded me that Al Pacino is a dog. Love Al Pacino. He's one of those actors that I forget how good he is until I watch one of his fucking movies.
Right.
Whether he's in his 20s or 30s or 70s or 80s, he's always good.
The one thing that I struggled with this movie was whoever did the sound editing. I know it was the 70s, but oh my god, it was awful.
And I didn't look to see how independent this was, or if it was like a big studio film, or I'm not sure. But again, it was also the 70s.
We were sitting there watching it. We were watching it in the garage. Mm-hmm. So the TV out there has a 0 to 100 sound range.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was doing the whole turn up, turn down thing too the whole time.
Like normally when we're watching anything out there, around 50 to 60 is where we have it for comfortable listening. We had to have this thing on 90 for a good portion of it. And then at the end, when you get to the freaking the airport, it's like they were just sitting out there holding a microphone next to a fucking plane. Like, come on, dude.
I think we can expect that anytime we do any movies from the 70s and beyond.
Right.
Unless they're like fully digitally remastered shit. Yeah.
And I know it's a 70s movie and that's just what it is. But like, I should not have had to turn the sound up that far. And then the only thing that we got of normal volume was the stuff that was too loud.
Right. But I think this might have been the earliest work that I've seen of Al Pacino. I think the earliest work before this was Scarface. That's how I fell in love with Al Pacino. And this
when was Scarface? Scarface.
I want to say it was like 78. I was
gonna say prior to this, Scarface was the earliest I'd seen Pacino in. But if this one
is Scarface is 83. It wasn't even 70.
Oh yeah. So this is the oldest, the first Pacino movie I've seen. Well, sorry.
I say he looked considerably different between Dog Day and Scarface, which I absolutely love Scarface. Spoiler alert. Scarface is a Miss Davis for me, so we don't need to review that one. Already reviewed Miss Davis. But
well, we would agree on that. So
there we go.
So we don't need to review them.
Right, yeah, there you go. Bonus review, Scarface. Miss Davis.
We're writing it
down. Go for it. That is an amazing fucking movie. So it's not
Producer Week gets a bonus rating.
Yeah, you got 3 movies in this bitch. But yeah, so getting to watch something that apparently was 8 years earlier from Al Pacino. I wonder what his earliest work is, like as an actual name.
I've wondered that too. Like, it'd be worth just going to watch just because.
Because he looks considerably different he doesn't look like Al Pacino in this movie, in my opinion. I mean, you can tell it's him. And then sometimes when he's talking, I'm like, oh, there's Scarface.
Right.
When he start yelling at everybody, I'm like, I know that guy.
So was it a surprise to you whenever his wife that they brought down was not a girl?
I'll get to that in a second, but first, I just loved how they just immediately went into the movie to where they just put all their eggs in the basket and said, Here you go.
Yep.
That was great. It was balls to the wall. But that's what kind of dialed it down for me, too, is because then as the movie goes on, they made it so exciting right off the bat, it kind of sizzled a little bit. Until we got to who you're talking about. The homoerotic turn. I don't remember his name either, but you realize who that actor is? His gay.
It was Sarandon, wasn't it?
Chris Sarandon.
Yeah.
Mr. Princess Bride, Fright Night. Also the voice of Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. I mean, I knew the name, but I didn't look him up.
Yeah. He was because he was at my first Frightmare in 2017. I didn't meet him, but Misty did, and I watched Misty meet him because she had a Jack Skellington tattoo on her chest above her massive boobies. And so I was like, she has his voice on her chest because he was just the voice of Jack Skellington.
Okay.
I thought that was a fun way to look at it. I'm like, I have your voice tattooed on my chest.
So
I just want to get a voice actor tattooed on me.
You're gonna get a voice actor tattooed on you?
Yeah, so I can say I have your voice tattooed on me. Like, let's say I get Jodie Benson from Little Mermaid. I get a Little Mermaid tattoo. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I can be like, "Hey, I got your voice tattooed on me," because it's not her likeness on me; it's her cartoon likeness. Or if I got Bart Simpson, the chick that does Bart, I got E.G. Daly's autograph.
But, we are delving down into a rabbit hole right here.
Doing voice actor rabbit hole, yeah. I don't even know how that happened.
I'm gonna have to apologize to the producer because I thought this entire time since I got knocked off and came back that I was on the private chat side. I was not. I was just on the comments. So I was like, I feel like Abby should be saying stuff here.
Oh, yeah, I've been sitting here reading them.
And I just realized that I was not on the private chat. So I had like 22 chats that I did not see. Sorry, producer.
Which that's a little behind the curtains for you people. It's not just me and Colonel. We have a little message board here to the side. We got our producer helping us out with some random trivia, just random questions, some assist. She always throws in them assist like a baller.
A lot of times, whenever we have a question about something, she will answer it for us to allow us.
She knows that we did not do our research before we went into this bitch. So
right, so she will put it in the chat for us so we can see it and work it in, acting like we didn't have to look it up.
Mm-hmm. It's like you can say she produces the show.
Who would have thought?
There's so many definitions of producer.
We should watch. You know what would have been real classic is if one of her
the producer
would have been the producers.
Mm-hmm. And then just add birdcage to it because why not?
Okay, so
anyways, Chris Sarandon, Mr. Jack Skellington, Fright Night, Princess Bride. That's the only 3 movies I can think of from him. But they threw me through the loop, and I did not recognize him right off the bat, though. This was one of those look up the cast, and I was like, "That's fucking Chris Sarandon." That's another one. I was like, "Whoa!" And that whole conversation on the phone when we got the little loophole that he had a gay lover on the side, or because he was married with kids too,
right?
And that's why he's robbing this place because he wants to get a sex change for his side piece and help out the family. And I was kind of guessing that as the movie was first starting because he wasn't a violent robber. Neither one of these two guys were violent at all. They were very peaceful. They were helping out everybody.
Right. I really thought that one of the teller ladies, the blonde girl that went out with him at one point, I really thought that she was in on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then the guy that drives the car at the end. That's Lance Hendrickson. That's another big name that was in this. From Aliens and Terminator and Pumpkinhead.
I didn't look up at the end, but like Bishop from Alien.
Mm-hmm.
So like I recognized him, and I was just like, and then like after seeing him, my wife was like, he was at your first Frightmare, wasn't he? Or at a Frightmare? And I was like, who? And she was like, Lance Hendrickson. I was like, oh yeah, he was there. I didn't put the two together, but
if you remember when we had our Tim Curry moment just over there in the smoking patio, was Lance Hendrickson just chilling. But we were too infatuated with Tim Curry to where we didn't meander over to Lance Hendrickson.
I'm sorry, Lance Hendrickson, but the Tim Curry moment was way better because people were having to pay to go to his room to meet him.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't even getting an autograph. It was just a picture.
Right. It was just to meet him. And if you wanted an autograph, you could buy some pre-autographed things. You didn't get to watch it get done.
Or you can send in some stuff and they'll send it back to you within a month or whatever. Because he's going to sign them.
Which, I mean, I understand
I don't know if I trust that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I understand why they were doing that. Because they can only have him sign a certain number of things at a time. But I would not believe it unless I saw the autograph.
And his signature is not the same as it once was back in the day.
Right.
So
my interaction
was just cool to have. Yeah, that was enough for me.
More than the autograph ever. And we didn't have to pay a dime for it.
Nope. Thank God I was a smoker.
How's it going? Time for a smoke.
And the handler wiping his face with baby wipes and shit. That was enough for me.
Whew,
That's why I even get autographs, because I just it's the story behind the autograph. That's what I like about it.
I am glad that I'm onto this again.
Under the beer.
If I can give my official review, still a 3.
And we will do. We can do wine again someday, for sure. And I'll actually have a corkscrew this time. I'll even buy one of those fancy electronic ones that you fuckers have.
Hell, we've got 2 of them.
I went all redneck.
Take one home.
No, because then you'll have one downstairs, upstairs. You always gotta have one handy. I'll give
yeah, because it would take me another 20 seconds to go upstairs to use it instead of.
That's 20 seconds of your life gone, sir. Life
You're
is
right. If
short.
I break that down to how much I can get, never. Okay, so back to Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
So what was your feeling on Sam? Like, he didn't have a whole lot of lines, and was that his like
co guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, he kept trying to blame it all on Sam. Like, hey, if I don't go back in there, he's gonna kill all these people.
I think he only existed in this movie is because he existed in real life.
Okay, because
I think that's part of the true story thing.
Yeah, it didn't feel like he had a big role in this at all.
He was less of a side character than like the bank tellers and stuff like that was. He was just hanging out with a gun the whole time. Didn't have any dialogue or nothing.
Right. Well, and then the manager had more of a role in the movie than Sam did.
Right. Well, it kind of fucked up. I know this is a 1975 movie, but the first hostage they release is the black dude, and they immediately arrest him. They thought he was. I was like, God damn!
You're a hostage, damn it! What are you guys doing? And he was having a breakdown too. Like, he was having a breakdown. It's like they let him go as they should have, because he needed medical assistance. And the first thing they do is fucking arrest him.
It took him so long and the whole time Pacino's waving his fucking white cloth, signifying that he's the fucking bank robber or whatever.
Right. When a guy
really pounced on the black guy. Like, holy shit! This is definitely from 1975.
Yeah. It just brings in the realization how short ago people were. Even today, people are fucking stupid, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, fucking. That's fucked up. But that security guard though, the whole time he was just very ghostly. When they finally did it, and they're like, "What was it? He has asthma." That's right. He had asthma. The manager was the one with diabetes. That's what it was.
Correct.
I wonder if those two are true, or if they just added that to the movie.
Going into when they finally get into the limo and go, did you think they were getting away, or did you think they were getting killed?
Once he called out the guy that drove the limo up there, and he's like, "You think I'm stupid? You're a cop."
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking they were going to get away, and then I remembered, wait, if they're basing this off a true story, I'm guessing they don't. So I was thinking something happens at the airport, and turns out Lance Hendrickson fucking had a gun up his ass the whole fucking time.
Well, and when the guy got in the car to drive, and he kept telling Sam to make sure to point the gun up, I was like, he's a cop.
I didn't think too hard about it, but when they made it a focal point to have him point up the gun, I had a flash of like, oh, that means something, but then I just didn't think anything of it.
Right.
And it caught me off surprise when he turned around and shot him right in the head.
Well, and poor Sam, the guy didn't do a dang thing other than point a gun at some people and be an accessory to a bank robbery.
He is blasted point bank. Yeah, no. See, that was fucked up on the law enforcement side there. He didn't need to go. There was other ways. They had that fucking airport surrounded. They were going to fly off.
Right.
We didn't have to do a point blank right in the dude's head. But another thing that told me that this movie is from the 70s is at the beginning when he's collecting the cash and she tells him to watch his mouth.
Right.
I'm like, you're worried about him cussing in front of ladies.
Right.
Where you're going to tell the guy with the gun. But then I love because Al Pino just stopped. Like, you can almost hear his inner monologue like that. This bitch should not just fucking tell me.
I got a gun with this girl when she's telling me to watch my mouth.
This bitch. Yeah, he shredder phrases like, yeah, he says whatever he does, but he just kind of lets it go. And then that's what taught me that he's not in here to hurt anybody. He's just trying to help something with family. Little did I know it was both family and a side piece with a penis.
Well, and the funny part was like he was supposed to be hitting the bank before, like, and they had like they'd come and taken all the money earlier that day, and they come and hit it, and there's like nothing there.
Right. I'd say this is clearly a desperation robbery, not a planned out weeks in advance type of robbery.
Right.
This was a call for desperation because they needed money desperately. Apparently, that third guy, which was clearly a young guy, is like, no, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, so this felt to me like, I don't know, this is just speculation, my point, but like I feel like this might have been the basis for like. Was John Q based off of a true story?
Yes.
Okay, so I felt like John Q, whoever the real person was, not Denzel, might have watched this movie and thought, hey, I'm just going to go hold hospital hostage until they bring me what my son needs.
If he was a movie lover, yes. If he's desperate to help his son, then no.
Well, I mean... see, that's that Snoop Dogg stuff talking right now to me.
Goddamn Snoop, you're grounded.
You are grounded.
You're grounded. You're grounded because I'm a beekeeper.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Did you watch The Beekeeper?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
It was a great movie.
And then I watched A Working Man that just came out this year, written by Sylvester Stallone. Hello.
I have not seen Working Man yet, but give me your review on this movie.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why we're back to
what is your end all be all review on Dog Day in the afternoon?
I mean, I went just like Lock, Stock. I went in this completely blind too. I made sure I didn't, because I've always heard this title. Same thing, same situation. I've always heard this title. Didn't really know much about the movie. I just knew Al Pacino was in it. And then I made sure I went in blind when I had learned that we were doing this. So I went in blind, and it starts off hot. I'm like, bang! Oh, they're just immediately fucking around the bank. Fuck a backstory. We're just going in. We're gonna steal some shit. And I'm sitting there watching Al Pacino's performance, and like Al Pacino's always been a dog. He's always been
a dog.
Yeah, he's always been a dog. And the zingers, like the homosexuality zinger, then zero expectation on that at all. I had no idea that was coming.
Blindsided me.
And just the weird ass dialogue and like women telling people to stop cursing and stuff like that. I'm like, I wasn't alive in the 70s, so I don't know how that was. It did have it had a good flow to it, and it was an interesting story to watch. And I'm guessing they stuck true to how it ended too, because that ending was a little disappointing. I didn't want dude to get blasted in the head. I didn't want Al Pacino to get arrested. I wanted to get away. But since it's based off a true story, we didn't do that.
Right.
We got the real ending, which is one dude got killed, another dude got arrested, and he served 20 years, so he's already out. He's living free somewhere. But
that's right. He served 20 years.
So he got out in 92 is when he got out, because it took place in 72 when he got arrested. And we haven't heard anything ever since, so he learned his lesson. And I hope he got back with his dude / chick that got her sex change operation. They made that a point in this little ending recap there.
It felt like they were making that a focal point, and this is like before this was a common thing in movies. Like this was the 70s, and you're putting that into a movie like that's bold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Majorly bold. And I like that they recap too. I feel like that because I'm pretty sure we weren't the only ones that were cheering for Sonny and so I figured I think they did the updates on the real life people just to kind of give us to feel better. Like nobody died. Dude got his sex change. Sonny served his 20 years and now is fresh out or whatever. So overall, I did enjoy this film. And it just reminded me that I love Al Pacino, and it immediately made me want to watch Scarface again. And And Any Given Sunday, and even Jack and Jill. He did that fucking Adam Sandler movie, Jack and Jill. I was even ready to watch that because I'm pretty sure Al Pacino made that movie better than it fucking was. But overall, I give this movie. Yeah, you might think differently of Al Pacino if you ever see that. But I give this movie a little higher than Lock, Stock. I give it a 7.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like I said, it thrusted too much into good, and then it started fizzling out in the middle to where it needed to build up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we started off too hot to where the rest of it kind of fizzled a little bit. But I really enjoyed this movie, though. So I give it a 7.
All right. So we got a 7 by Andrew. And that'll lead me into my review, which we've already kind of talked about it. So one thing I haven't said about this movie yet, whenever it was picked, we weren't sure if we had it on physical media because I checked both of these on all of those streaming places, and they wanted 15 out of both of them, like 15 each form from the place I normally get the movies from. And
I rented them.
And that's see, you're a renter. I'm a buyer. Like I would have paid the $15 before I'd have paid the $4 to rent. But I was able to find Dog Day. We already had Lock, Stock on physical. We did not find Dog Day.
Didn't have Dog Day.
So I did find it at a local CD Trade Post, which is like a place kind of like a game.
Did you go to CD Trade Post?
I went to CD Trade Post.
They still exist. God damn, that was my favorite place ever.
There's one in South Wichita. I felt a little scared for myself going in there, but I went in there and
I literally in that store so much.
So I had to put myself on a timer because I knew it was there, but there's so many other things I wanted to look at in that store. I went in.
Like shit.
I found it. $6. So we
don't know what the inflation is on that place. I don't know what that inflation is in that place, but it used to be like $3.99 a movie when I used to go in there all the time.
Well, and
like even the top tier ones.
I even looked on Amazon to order it.
21st and Rock. That's where I don't know if that one.
There was like a Blu-ray anniversary edition I thought about getting, but it was going to be $15. At which point I may as well just buy it on Vudu to get the all versions or whatever. But so yes, that's my funny story about during my review on this movie.
Quick side question: do you prefer physical media over digital, or do you just not care? Like you're just gonna own the movie, however. I'm a physical media collector myself. So.
Personally, I prefer physical media. I'm running out of room for it. I've got plans to build a physical media storage unit that is going to be.
My closet has more physical media than it has clothes in it.
Right. Well, so you've seen my house. You know the cabinets underneath, like over by the bar, that has all the it's the horror movies on top, and then I've got a bookshelf beside it that has all the kids' movies and all the stand-up comedies, and I've got another bookshelf on the other side that has all the comedy movies. Mm-hmm. All of the cabinets are full of all the action, drama, all that other stuff. Like they're 3 deep, 4 high. Mm-hmm. Every one of those cabinets.
We love our action and our comedy.
Like I'm concerned that I'm not, even when I build my media storage location, that I'm not going to have enough room.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just curious because you buy a lot of digital movies, so I was wondering.
Yeah, so our digital movie collection. Last time I looked, I'll continue on here and then I'll finish my review. But our digital collection that I share between my family, so it's me, my sister, my parents. We have, if you go to the My Movies section of Vudu, it is right around the 800 mark, but there's also probably 20 or so that are like collections. So I'm going to say there's probably in the neighborhood of 900 to 950 movies that we have on virtual.
I get it, but like Stanley said,
but it's probably very close.
You can read comic books online, but there's nothing better. It's like you can look at boobs online all the time, but actually feeling a boob is a lot better.
No, the comics was a better thing because I have virtual comic books that I sit there and scroll. It's not the same as
actually holding it like a real life boob. We can look at him on a screen all the time, but we actually want to hold it. That's why I'm going to rape Vinegar Syndrome when I go take Sprite. But anyways, continue on your 3 review.
Anyway, so I was thinking when I was watching this movie that this movie came out after Scarface. So now knowing that it came out before Scarface, I respect it even more because Pacino really did a very good job. Like he acted his ass off, and there was a few things that had it been made in the 2000s, I would have.
So you got to remember different times.
Well, right, I would have put negative marks on the movie, but it was made in the 70s. So I'm watching it like I'm watching it in the 70s, so I didn't put those negative marks on it because it is early on movie. I'm calling it obviously not an early on movie, but it is an older movie. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things.
So you know how we talked about producer sends us messages. She sent us a pair of boobies, like digital boobies.
Some emoji boobies.
Yeah, the emoji boobies, not the actual boobies. Not like these boobies. Hey.
Oh man,
my tiny dime nipples. Anyway,
so said all that so I could say this. This movie gets a 7 from me as well because it was very fun.
Holy crap, we went all the way across the board.
We did. I almost changed it to either a 6.5 or 7.5.
Just to be different.
For me, this was literally a movie I enjoyed, a movie that I will not watch again. I don't know when I'll watch it again, but I've got it on physical now.
It's one of those movies. If it's on and I walk by, I'm like, oh, this is that scene. He's about to do this dialogue, or this is about to happen. And there's always something going on in the movie where you can just pinpoint it, whether it's weird or intense or whatever it is.
Let me throw this out there. The only reason that this one got a higher rating for me than Lock, Stock is because Lock, Stock came out in '98. It had higher expectations for me than a movie that came out in '75.
Oh, I got you. And so, for me, Lock, Stock might increase in rating when I watched it 1 or 2 more times to catch some shit that I missed. That's why I only got a 6.
But you might change that to an 8 when you watch it a couple more times.
Right. But first initial viewing, Lock, Stock 6. Dog Day Afternoon. I think Dog Day Afternoon is going to stay at a 7. It wasn't a hard movie to follow along with, and
I don't think right. There wasn't a whole lot to miss. They did it it's not a hard movie to follow.
Just saying, because I was like, God damn, Al Pacino's been around forever. I looked him up. He is 85 years old. He was born in 1940, so he was in his mid 30s when he did Dog Day Afternoon.
All right. I do wish they would have provided a little more backstory on him, on Al Pacino's character in that movie. Because
that's why I brought up them staying true to it being a true story, because they don't know the backstory of why they went into the. Well,
there could have been throughout the movie. There could have been a bunch of different reasons that led him to that point, but nobody ever really knew that in 1975 when it happened in '72.
Right, and we just kind of briefly got to learn throughout.
Well, and honestly, the movie released in '75, so they probably recorded it, or they probably shot it in '74. It's like you're literally very recently after this guy gets arrested.
I would have liked a little more story from Sam, right? Yeah, his partner.
Correct.
We literally got nothing from him. He was just there.
Like they said they were part of the armed forces and they fought in Vietnam.
That's fine, but we don't know why he's robbing. Like, why is he helping out Pacino? You know,
they could have thrown some dramatization in there and put some stuff in there from some flashbacks from Vietnam and this and that, but that wasn't a thing.
They didn't have the budget either for that government.
But it also wasn't a thing in the '70s to do the flashbacks.
Right. But okay, well, right on. All right, well, before we sign off here, what are we doing next week, sir?
Well, so I've been debating on Magician's Week and Secret Agent Week. So I think this week we're going to do Secret Agent.
Pew!
a la James Bond, but not James Bond because everybody either loves or hates James Bond, and there's no reason to review James Bond because James Bond is James Bond.
Sean Connery.
Well, he's one of them. I hold on. Since we're here, who's your favorite James Bond?
I don't know. I've only seen like 6 or 7 of them.
Mine's
like
Sean.
I explained earlier. Sean's been fun.
Okay.
I haven't seen a single
Sean Connery is my
favorite one. I haven't
James
seen a single Daniel Craig one.
They're good.
Like I've been starting
but they're also
going.
So
I only know how GoldenEye works out
Each
because I
one's
played the
modern.
video game. Right. The only reason why I know GoldenEye is because of the video game. I've never seen GoldenEye, but I know how it plays out.
GoldenEye. So we have a challenge in the chat.
We got Sean Connery.
I don't think I can
Moore.
Do that. Yeah, Sean Connery. You got who?
Roger Moore. Roger Moore. There's the guy that just did it one fucking time.
Pierce Brosnan. You got Daniel Craig.
You got the dude that did it one fucking time.
How many?
I'm not thinking of his name.
How many are? Do you know how many there are?
I don't. And this challenge needs to be done off air because we're gonna sit here and think about it.
But no, I'm gonna cut it off. But producer, how many James Bonds are there? So we've came up with 4. You can't look it up.
No, I was seeing how many actors were. I don't know the names, but there's been 7 of them.
Okay, so there's Tim Dalton.
Tim Dalton's the one I was thinking of. Tim Dalton.
We got Sean Connery.
7 of them. We missed 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever. But anyways,
Pierce Brosnan. Daniel Craig. Is it just the 5?
There's 7 of them total.
Oh well. All right, so we are going
to end this fucking episode.
Yeah. So next week we are going to be watching secret agent movies.
Mm-hmm. What movies?
We are going to be watching The Recruit, another Al Pacino movie.
Hey.
And another movie that I found that is a secret agent that I have not seen, so it's going to be a first watch for me. But it came out in 2011. It is called Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy.
Love that movie.
So you've seen it.
Yep. But I haven't seen the first one, The Recruit.
Oh, you're going to love The Recruit. It's got
look at us crisscrossing here on.
So The Recruit has Al Pacino and it's gonna bug me. Fuck you, Snoop. It's the guy from Phone Booth.
Colin Farrell.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
Phone Booth of all of his movies. You go Phone Booth. All right, cool. Colin Farrell though.
That was the one in my head. All right. So hey,
that's what
I have been the Colonel.
I have been the Faye.
Snoop has kind of fucked us up tonight, but hey, it was still a great night.
And the producer's been the producer that selected this. I hope she enjoyed our answers and our wine drinking and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see you next week for some agent spy shit.
Secret Asian man.
I feel like we're Charlie's Angels right now. Anyways. Good night all and go fuck yourself. Love you. Ew.
Okay.